Hello and welcome, Asset students. I missed you. I still miss you because we're not together, but at least we're a little bit closer than we used to be, I suppose. Welcome to FOA 130. So the course is going to really focus on the mechanical operation and theory of internal combustion engines. I know it says gas engine, but gas and diesel engines share a whole lot in common. Yes, on the performance side, and the way that the air fuel mixture gets ignited is different between the two. But as far as like pistons, crankshafts, blocks, heads, there's a lot of similarities, and we're starting with the mechanical stuff in this course. We round off the last 2 weeks with climate control. We kind of finish up with the engine stuff and work our way into climate control from there, talking about refrigeration systems, HVAC systems, a little bit of service and repair, diagnosis in there as well. So let's get through looking at the CM Connect course, and then from there we'll deal with a few of the finer details. So when you log into CM Connect and find the 130 course, this is the page that you'll see. Got my little welcome message to you, giving some information about the course. Here we've got a 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine torn apart into its little bits and pieces, giving you an idea of how much stuff goes into an engine. There's a little write-up down here about how we're online now, and I expect that you have access to a computer and access to the internet. I've worked really hard to make sure that it doesn't matter what kind of computer you have. It doesn't matter if you have a tablet. Even a cell phone is adequate to get through this course. You will have issues with a cell phone because it will be harder because you won't be able to see as much of the screen and it's a little bit clunkier. But if you have a device that can connect to the internet, you should be in very good shape to be able to make it through this course as far as your technology goes. If you are struggling with one, both, any, three, who knows what of these things, please contact me. Email address. This is my desk phone number, but I've got it set up to forward to my cell phone because there's no likelihood that I'm going to be at my desk anytime soon. So just feel free to reach out, and the college does have resources that I can hook you up with. But from what I've seen in the past, you're all in pretty good shape for this stuff, but just let me know, okay? I'm here to make it so that you're successful, because your success is me being good at my job. If we keep on scrolling down, I've got a reading list here, and I'm just going to pull it up. There's a handout as well. If I scroll up here, reading list, I'm going to pull up that handout because it's a little bit easier to see. It's not so small. And in this course, I've broken things up by week. It's a 7-week class, and so I thought it would be easiest to navigate if we just understand each week what do I need to do. The week ends on the Sunday, so class starts 5/18 Monday. The last session, basically, last day of the week is that Sunday, 5/24, at 11:55 p.m. Chapter 9 homework out of your automotive textbook will be due, and that's an online homework assignment. And then I also have a little vocabulary quiz as well for you to get through, which should be pretty simple, I believe, but it makes it so that when we're kind of discussing some of the different bits and pieces, people aren't confused. I've had really good feedback in the past about this. Granted, I've never taught this class online before, but I think that this helps get everybody's head screwed on straight, and it should be a pretty easy A for all of you, especially because this course will be completely open notes. Homework's always been open notes, cert tests have always been open notes, but quizzes, anything that I'm going to ask of you, I expect that you'll use open notes. I have no way of policing it, and let's be honest, when we're working in the shop life is open notes as well, right? We got the access to the internet, service publications, all kinds of stuff. The guy next to you, hey, Leroy, come on over here. What was it, Bruce the alignment guy, come on over here, tell me what to do. So open notes, you get 3 chances for all assignments, and I give you the highest grade that you receive. I want you to make it through the content. I want you to get the right answers and understand why those answers are right. I'm not here to punish anybody for trying to learn. So let's make it as easy and as functional as possible. So you'll see each week what your homework assignments are. And the lab section of this class will be done online. So let's go shoot over and take a look at what that means. I'll go to my email first. So here I've got an email. I set myself up as a student as well. Used a email account I use when I sign up for rewards and stuff at Costco or whatever, so that I don't have to deal with all the spam. But I set up have this email that's sent out to me and to all of you as well. When I went to find it, I had to go into my junk folder, though, because my email account saw that it was just a automatically generated email and one that I haven't ever gotten before, so I thought it was junk. So go take a look in there if it doesn't show up for you in your inbox. I've got my username, which is just whatever email account I sent it to. For all of you, it's your CM email accounts. And I have a temporary password, good for 60 days, which is long enough to make it through the course. So if you want to keep that one, you can. If not, I'll show you in a second how to swap that out. So when you click on that, you're supposed to have to log in. But let's see, I'll log myself out so that we can do that. I thought I had done it already. So when you click on that, this screen should show up. You're a student. This is my teacher info. Alright, so when you log in, you will see this content. You can now go in. These are all the courses that will be available through Engine. And each course, the first one that we'll deal with is this Engine General Theory. They're in order. I would recommend that you kind of hop on this lubrication and cooling one and some downtime, because that has a fair number of really short modules, but you only have a week to get it done as far as things go. It'll be due in about 5 weeks from now, but if you pick away at it, it'll make your life easier as we transition into climate control. So do as you choose. But if we click on that course, I've got a status bar on top that shows how far I've made it through this course. There are 20 modules here, and we're no chumps when it comes to e-learning. We've done a bunch of this stuff. We understand how it goes. For this program, seeing as it's not STARS or Ford or anything like that, the way that they have this set up is they have a lesson, and then they have a quiz. So Piston Engine Basics is my lesson. Piston Engine Quiz, well, there's the quiz. They're trying to see what did you learn? How did you do when you went through and took the course itself? This Piston Engines Basic course, I've already spent a couple seconds on it. But for this one, I got the first question done because I was trying to figure out how the whole navigation thing works on your end, because I've been looking at it in teacher mode. But answered the first one, right? It just asks you to go through and identify these things: combustion chamber, piston, cylinder. And it's really, really tempting to just answer the question and move on. I recommend you take a little look at this stuff up here, because this is the information, along with this stuff, that you're going to be assessed on when you go and take the quiz. Once you answer the question, you'll be able to move on to the next one. See how I can't move on down here? Check the engine with the piston at bottom dead center. Well, there you go. That's bottom dead center. Here's top dead center. Right, the piston's at the bottom or the top. Not that hard, right? As I keep on going, I'll eventually fill out all the questions on this lower progress bar, but you see how there's another dot up here? So that means there's basically what we consider almost 2 chapters in here. And I've made it, I would say, about a quarter of the way through just now. The pressure above the piston is high. Click the button. What happens? The piston moves down. That would be my guess. Hey, I'm right. So I'm helping you out here. But as I answer these questions, it allows me to keep on progressing further and further. And once I'm done with this, I'll be able to go and take the quiz. And you can take the quiz beforehand. You just want to go and wing it and see what happens, that's fine. But you can only take the quiz once. You can take the engine class, this chapter basically, as many times as you want to. And you'll see that it does grade you. If you get it wrong, it counts it against you, and then when you get it right, it gives you some points back, but it averages, and then you go and take it again, it averages the last one and this one, and over again. It gets kind of confusing. So the way that I'm planning to grade all of this electude stuff is based off of two factors. One is how much of this did you get done by the due date, which the due date is in 2 weeks from Monday the 18th. So you've got 2 weeks to do 20 modules. That's a little bit over 1.25 modules per day. And like I said, you can see these things go pretty quick. Some of them are a little bit longer than other ones. You get into some math and stuff like that. But for the most part, pretty straightforward, pretty achievable. So when I go to grade these, out of the 20, if you get all 20 done by the due date, then I'll give you that percentage. You got 100% done, you get 100. If you did half of them, you get a 50. If you did 3/4, you see what's going on. So that's one way. The other way I'm going to do is I will average your quiz grades, because on the quizzes you get to try once. If something happens and you like blow up on a quiz, or you lose internet and for some reason it submits it or something strange like that, we all know how the internet has its little ghosts in it. Email me and I can reset it for you, but you're going to have to reach out to me to reset it. It's not going to be something that you can do yourself. So when you go and take these quizzes, try to be prepared to get as good of a grade on them as possible. Now, I don't want to stress anybody out and make you spend a lot of time on something that maybe you don't need to. And so when this is all graded, those 2 grades are averaged out for this course. So percentage of completion, if you got 100 on that and you scored a 50 on your quizzes as far as an average goes, well then you got a 75, which is still a passing grade. So what I am trying to convey to you is that I want you to do the stuff, and I want you to try hard to get a good grade, but I don't want you to feel punished for doing the work. So get through it, do your best, try to understand this stuff, because that's why we're all here. As time goes by, you'll be able to, let's see, we have to go back again. As time goes by, new due dates will show up in the reading list for engine block assembly, then we'll go into heads, and then lubrication and cooling theories at the very end of this whole spectrum. And then HVAC when we move into that part of the class. If you want to change your password, click this account button. It will automatically prompt you to put in your first name and last name, and that will let me know, when I see that, it'll let me know that you've actually logged in to the program, so you won't get a pestering email from me in a few days. So please make sure you do that, and it doesn't really give you a chance. They're required, so if you don't do it, then it doesn't let you get into the system. So you'll put your info in. And then if you want to change your password to Bruce is my best friend 2020 exclamation point, well then you can do that and obviously repeat it, and then that's your new password when you go to log in. Alright, so if you have any issues, let me know. I know new technology can be a little bit trying sometimes, but we'll make it through this together, and this system really is pretty simplistic to navigate once you get your feet wet in it. So moving on back to the course page, which I got logged out of because I'm so long-winded. Moving back to the course page, here's the link to get you into Electude. So you'll always be able to find that right here at the top of the page when you go to work. Here's the copy of that reading list, which is also here as an image file. And you can see, look, here's the lab, Engine General Theory, due next Sunday at 11:55. Not this coming one, but next one, don't freak out. Here are your course books that you would get if you attended one of these courses at a Ford Training Center, which does not exist right now, so congratulations on being able to achieve some certification training when nobody else in Ford Motor Company is able to do so. And then I would argue, most importantly, down here at the bottom, is going to be a weekly handout. This is week 1 of 7, so here's the week 1 handout there. Click on that, and it's a compressed folder or a zip file. So you can open it, you could save it also. Make sure you know where you're saving it to on your computer. Ready for students? Hey, that's you. And in here, I've got PowerPoint files that we would normally be going through in the lecture section of the class in the classroom before we went out to the shop. And then I have this, the read first, which I guess maybe I should have taken my own advice and read it first. But here in this read first, I'll have a welcome message each week giving you kind of an idea of where we're at with things, what you're expecting to do this week, just kind of getting us all on the same page. Then when we come down to lecture, I give you some more information about that. And for this course, I've really responded to the information that I got from my students during the second half of the spring semester. I was making video lectures of me going through PowerPoints and me doing demonstrations and things of that nature. And what was happening is nobody was paying attention to them, which is fine. I mean, I know I'm as boring as it gets. That's the thing I've heard forever. Lecture's the worst part of this whole program. So I've taken that information in stride, and on my YouTube channel, I've made a playlist for our course. And this playlist goes through the entire gamut of videos that we'll watch as we go through. And I tried to find stuff that I thought was interesting. I also tried to find stuff that I thought was actually educational and had good information in it. I think Eric the car guy only shows up once, so I'm pretty pleased about keeping him out of my class as much as possible. But as we go along, each week you will get this list of videos that cover topics that I would usually lecture about. But the production value, the amount of technology, the variation of types of technology that are being worked with, and also the different people who are talking to you and the different points of view, I think are really important. And I think that a lot of these videos are actually pretty fun to watch. So I hope that you feel the same way. As time goes by, I will probably put some lectures up there just to like fill in the gaps in between a few things. But this stuff is good information. It's solid, and I feel pretty comfortable with the fact that you getting the information in this method versus through my mouth makes no difference whatsoever. And if you actually pay attention to it versus not wanting to watch me lecture on a PowerPoint on my laptop in my basement, I mean, that all makes a whole lot of sense. So these links are all here. These are the ones that I expect you to watch for the first week. The second week there will be a new list, and so on, and they're all on that YouTube channel, like I said. I write you some little love notes. I give you this whole run-out thing that I've talked about already about electude. It's important that you know that for this engine class, 70% of your grade comes from lab work, and electude is the lab work. So if you don't do any of the electude stuff, you don't pass the class. So just swallow that lump right now. Understand that that's what we have to deal with, and let's just move on forward with the situation that we have at hand and try to make the absolute most of it, because I still think that we're breaking some new ground. I've also in this file added my usual handout that shows you how you're doing on your e-learning. So on the e-learning, it'll show you what stuff you still have to do, and everybody still has stuff for gas engine, diesel engine, climate control, or a mixture of 1, 2, 3, all of them, whatever. So make sure you go on to STARS and keep paying attention to that kind of stuff. You'll find, I have some other links that I put over here, ones that I usually use for the course. Some of these are included in the lists during the week, some of them are not, so I just left the stuff there because I thought you might enjoy clicking around on it. If you go to the coursework section, up here, your first 2 homework assignments show up, and it only populates 2 at a time, so just keep doing stuff up there until you run out of stuff to do. And then you see I have it still broken down by week. So for week 1, so Sunday, May 24th, 11:55, both these things are due. And they're just the online homework and quizzes that we've done in the past. So you get 3 chances. I give you the highest grade. It shows you what you got right, what you got wrong. It doesn't tell you the correct answers to stuff you got wrong, but this is right out of the back of the book. And then for the quiz, these are just some images that I've been working with for the last 5 years, and you're going to do a matching, which I'm not sure if you've ever done for any of our classes before, but you're just matching number 1 with whatever the right answer is. You can see on this first one you only have 3 things I'm asking you about, but you have 5 choices. On the latter ones where there are like 10, 11, 9 options, I limit it to just that many, so you could actually do like a process of elimination thing there. Alright. The syllabus for the class, as always, is under the syllabus tab. There's a downloadable version, and then there's one that I just pasted into a text window. And as far as grading goes for the class overall, 10% of your grade is based off of your homework, 10% is based off of quizzes, and the other 10% is based off of your certification tests, which will also be delivered in that online test platform like your homework and the quizzes. All of it's open notes, all of it you get 3 chances, all of it I take the highest grade. So success is nigh, as they say. You should be able to have a really nice experience and not feel like you're being punished for the situation that we're in. And you know that I'm going to do everything I can to help this be an easy and enjoyable experience for you. So if you have trouble, reach out to me. Let me know how I can help you, because that is what I am here for. Alright. I guess the last thing that I need to talk about is attendance. And all this stuff is repeated in emails and love notes and things like that I'll send to you over the next 24 hours and then next week and then the week after that and so on and so forth. But your attendance on an online class, the only way that I can actually mark you as being present is if you get some stuff done. You don't have to get it all done. I would like it if you got it all done, but you don't have to get it all done to get a present. But Sunday night, 11:55, when everything gets turned in, if you didn't do any of it, then you get an absent unexcused for that week. If something comes up and you get injured, you get sick, someone in your household gets sick, you lose power for the week, because I had some students in the second term of the spring when we had those big windstorms that lost power. I mean, I'm a reasonable human. I'll do what I can for you. But if you miss the first 2 weeks and don't do any work, then you get dropped from the class because of college policy. If we make it halfway through the course and you don't do any work for 2 weeks in a row, then I have to put you in as having left the class. And that's basically like failing the class. And you don't want any of that stuff to happen. So let's keep track every week. Most of this stuff can get busted out over the course of a weekend. The videos and stuff like that, you can be watching that while you're waiting for your dinner to cook in the oven, or while you're waiting for your dog to pee in the backyard, or whatever it is that you're up to. Okay? But I hope you guys are all doing really well. I definitely miss the opportunity to teach you in person. Usually the summer semester is a interesting one because we kind of have the run of the place seeing as nobody else is around. But I think that I'll see you again this fall. I'm not sure what classes I'm teaching, but I'm hopeful that I have you when you show up. And if not, then I'll just come and bug you all the time while you're in the shop anyway. So be well, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. for our office hours. Not required, but I enjoy seeing some smiling faces looking back at me. All right. Take care, everybody.